Welcome to episode 4. Spot. Allie and I come here in the summer, no one else comes. Just know I'm happy to be here. It's actually a beautiful day. Even though we're outside, the premise is the same. 3 books from my library. We're going to use them as a jumping off point to examine music as a whole, perhaps society as a whole, to dig back in my memory tank and talk about maybe concerts I've attended. We'll switch between me announcing the book here and me playing back at home. I want to thank everybody that's watched so far. I hope it's provided some level of entertainment for you. I'm gonna keep making them even if no one watches, because I'm learning a lot about filmmaking and a lot about editing. It's a great opportunity for me to learn some skills. If you are not a subscriber on YouTube, please go to YouTube. Hi for this. Maybe you're on YouTube right now, great. Ding that bell, that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. Sheet number 1. Mumford Sons, SIGH No More. They've been around recently. They had a record, came out a year or 2 ago. I want to say 2008 or 9, whatever, or 10, whenever this record came out. I actually had friends, when they started hearing Mumford Sons songs on the radio, would text me and say, "Hey, I heard you guys on the radio." And I'm like, "What?" And others would say, "Oh my God, I can't believe you guys sold this song to Mumford Sons." And we didn't. It was not us, it was Mumford Sons, and it was not our songs. But people think they sound like us. I think we do have some songs that sound similar. May I suggest Flesh and Bone? You can listen to that on Spotify. Goodbye Picasso from Somewhere Between the Dog and the Wolf. If you've ever been to Rockwood to see us play, you've heard it, because we've played it for the past maybe 5-6 years, maybe more. The other song, maybe Woman sounds kind of like it. There are some occasional breakout songs we do that are more bluegrassy and more chicken picking, and maybe because Mumford has this kind of folky, kind of newgrass appeal, perhaps that's where they were getting the connection from, but I don't know. Great record. Mumford's second record, which is called Babel, won Album of the Year at the Grammys, which I understand is not the marker of great art, but they did win it. Interestingly enough, there is no tab book for Babel. These are the kind of rarities I do look for. Seeing as how it did make Album of the Year, you assume it would exist. Mumford & Sons is mainly acoustic instruments with enhancements in the studio. Perfect candidate for a book, but this was the only one I know of. So we're gonna make our way through some of these Mumford & Sons songs. The first Mumford & Sons tune is The Cave, which was on the radio for a long time in 2009, 2010. Oops. Oh, it's in capo 2. So this is actually open E. Strange they notated this, because they write the guitar out in D, but then it immediately goes into E when it's the person singing. Hard to... And then the banjo part's in open G. So this makes it... Little Lion Man has a pretty strange tuning. It does, I'll put it on the screen, open C6 on capo 5.
But it was not your fault but mine, and it was your house on the line. I made it fucked up all this time. Not your fault but mine, and it was your heart on the line. I really fucked it up this time, didn't I, my dear? I really fucked it up this time, didn't I, my dear? Didn't I, my dear?
Book number 2, Fever to Tell, the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Lizzie Goodman's fantastic book, Meet Me in the Bathroom, about the New York City music scene in the early aughts. I ate it up. I think I read it in 1 or 2 sittings. Fascinating, amazing, and it talks about the seminal bands that were part of that time period in New York, most notably The Strokes, Interpol, Yeah Yeah Yeahs, the beginnings of DFA, which was James Murphy's label, James Murphy of LCD Sound System. I've loved Yeah Yeah Yeahs for a long time. I think my favorite record by them is It's Blitz. They had a breakout single, I want to say it was 2002. I remember being at a friend's house and watching the MTV Movie Awards, and the Yeah Yeah Yeahs performed, and they performed their song Maps. Simply one of my favorite songs, maybe of all time. It's very simple in its composition, but just a beautiful sentiment. So let's hear some of the tunes from Fever to Tell by Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
Maps actually is a pretty simple tune. And because of the way that Yeah Yeah Yeahs are set up, where it's just like drums, guitar with spacey stuff on it, and then Karen and I singing, the part itself on the record is just... And then the chorus... Chorus is a chorus. Wait, they don't love you like I love you. Wait, they don't love you like I love you. Wait, they don't love you like I love you. And then eventually there's an interlude. Modern Romance is a pretty good song. But it's just kind of like this vibe on the record. Oh, don't you know, there's no modern romance. Time is gone. It stops who it wants. But I was wrong. It never lasts. And there's no modern romance. You hear that song occasionally in occasional TV or movie. They'll license it. This is an okay record. It's Blitz, their second record. I love. Listened to it last night, and it's just like song after song. Oh my god, so good. It's Blitz had a song or two that was in the movie Her, which had an amazing soundtrack. That's the movie with Joaquin Phoenix, where his like AI is his lover. And I have to talk about It's Blitz now because there is no book. This is the only book the AAS have. Fever to Tell. And granted, it is one of those classic records of the early aughts, New York City. It's Blitz. Maybe that's the whole point of this. Listen to It's Blitz. But Maps is just in the culture, just hasn't gone away. You'll hear that in a lot of commercials and movies sometimes too. Beyonce even used it in one of her songs on Lemonade. Great tune.
Book number 3, sheet number 3, the Doobie Brothers guitar collection. I drove all the way out here, set up my camera, shooting in a ProRes format, and brought the Doobie Brothers the guitar collection with me. If you go to their Wikipedia, there's band members like coming and going right and left. There are 2 types of songs they perform. One I would say is like 70s rockers, and the other is like Michael McDonald kind of yacht rock. Yacht rock is something near and dear to our household. The night before our wedding up at Full Moon Resort, we had AM Gold, a yacht rock cover band, perform, and it's one of the best decisions we ever made. Every time yacht rock cover bands play New York, and they do a lot, they play Brooklyn Bowl, they play Webster Hall, we go. Huge fans of yacht rock.
So now we're at the Doobie Brothers book. The Doobie Brothers have a varied repertoire of tunes. And I remember the first time I heard any of their stuff, I think it was China Grove. I think it's in the soundtrack to Field of Dreams, and it's the guitar riff. Whoa, whoa, China Grove. But that isn't the reason we're here. First of all, there's a song in here called Jesus Is Just Alright. Okay, I know I picked this book, but it's actually, they get to a point where it's mostly keyboards, and it's actually really hard to play. This is very 70s. You don't know me, but I'm your brother. You don't know me, but I'm your brother. Well, I was raised here in this living hell. You don't know my kind in your world. Very soon, the time will tell. So it sounds like total yacht rock, Margaritaville, Jimmy Buffett type stuff. But he's saying, you don't know me, but I'm your brother. I was raised here in this living hell. You don't know my kind in your world. Fairly soon the time will tell. So the song is like super aggressive lyrically, but the music is just... It's like a Broadway altercation or something. And then he does this thing where, but you telling me the things you're gonna do for me. I ain't blind and I don't like what I think I see. And then he sings, taking it to the street, taking it to the street, taking it to the... No more need for running, taking it to the streets. Like, what the fuck does this mean? Like... I ain't blind, I don't like what I think I see. Taking it to the streets. Taking it to the streets. Taking it to the streets. Telling me all the things you're gonna do for me. I ain't blinded and I don't like what I think I see. Taking it to the streets. Taking it to the street. Taking it to the street. No more need for running to the street. Oh, running to the street. And then a saxophone solo. And then the wah-wah guitar comes in on top of the sax solo. It's a pretty tough song. It's just so weird, the posturing. It's like it's going to be a big fight. But it's just the most smooth. The Doobie Brothers, I know people who've told me they were ruined when Michael McDonald joined. I think they had a lot of fame and I think they made a lot of money off these tunes. And maybe more than the previous Doobie Brothers did. The Doobie Brothers at this point was kind of like a corporate entity switching out who was in it, because this is a totally different vibe than the China Grove and other stuff, which kind of had like a Steve Miller Band almost vibe to it. And then What a Fool Believes, there's not even any guitar in it, it's all piano. And it's like... It's too weird to play. They didn't bother making it ergonomic. I thought there was going to be more in here to like pick through, but like their actual, B-level hits are kind of not anything I want to like really pick up right now. The thing about these yacht rock tunes, especially stuff like Michael McDonald and Steely Dan and all that, is there's not actually a part you can sit down and rip through. It's the amalgamation of all the parts. So it's really an ensemble thing, almost like jazz, to where you just may be picking out this part, but it's a combination of that with the bass and whatever the drums are doing and the piano that makes it sound like yacht greatness. And then you throw in the silky smooth vocals of Michael McDonald on top, and you're ready to roll. Like, you're never going to sit down by yourself and play that, and you're definitely not going to sit somebody else down and go, hey, listen to this. Oh, you want it all. It's like, who are you going to sing that to? It makes no sense. It's the craziest tune. So I guess that's all for episode 4. A little fragmented today. Less singing. Just wanted to keep this rolling a little bit. Make my way through the collection a little more. Rediscover what I already have. A lot of these tunes are way better to listen to than they are to play. Even the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, it's like not that much fun to strum. This is why I mentioned in the previous episode having a repertoire of songs that you can just play on acoustic that aren't 80s love ballads and aren't like tunes from the 90s that you've played a million times, maybe a Stone Temple Pilots or something. It's hard to add to that repertoire because a lot of these songs don't lend themselves well to being strummed. As we're seeing here with the Doobie Brothers, China Grove actually is probably the best song to play on acoustic. But who wants to play China Grove, right? The Mumford thing is cool, but every song you have to retune the entire guitar and put a capo on. Who's going to remember all that? Not me. Makes it hard to have that in your battery to go like play for somebody. And then if you really wanted to impress somebody and play it, you have to like practice the hell out of that and like memorize all the lyrics. And then the lyrics kind of suck. So it's like a strange situation you're in. Because then you're singing about, Little Lion Man or The Cave, and it's just like these kind of crazy, kind of like Irish lyrics or something, and I don't know. Anyways, we're learning. We're evolving as we go through this and figuring out. We are reassessing our feelings about music in general, about these artists, about other artists. Anyways, stay safe out there. I will see you again sometime soon.